Hello there, and frog in my throat, and welcome back to Let's Play DragonFable. As you recall, last time we made a minor derp in the allocation of our stat points, and we finished up a quest for Sirloin, and we found ourselves in a rather unfortunate gold situation. We didn't have enough gold to use up all of our skill points, so we've got a couple options. We could go repeat old quests we'd done. We could go back to the starting area and pick up that free 20 gold, for example. But I'm going to try to do things a little bit more fairly. And we're just going to press onward, as much as we can. So what other quests do we have? Just double check that we're recording. We are good. Alright. So then. We've done Sir John and Sirloin. Why don't we do Surprise? Surprise. He and Sir Cuss keep trying to outprank each other. Can you make sure he's not getting himself into any more trouble? Well, let's go check it out. Boo! Gotcha. This is Surprise. That Sir Cuss clown is always trying to outprank me. I have an idea, though. Want to pull the ultimate prank? This is bad, but okay. Is this going where I think it's going? I should bring this Daily Dragon article back for Sir Valence. He loves Sneevils. Sneevils? What are those? Sir Prize sends his regards. Oh no, not again. Are you really sure you want to do this? This is a terrible thing to do to any fellow human being. Or anything else for that matter. But, yeah, let's do it. Surprise! Well, we stuck out. Oh god. Oh my. Oh man. It's everywhere. It's in my Sneevil wounds. Why? Why would you do this? You're not even getting any experience for this. Wait, we're not? What a waste of a quest. You're just mean. That's what you are. Oh man, this will never wash off. Sure enough, we get no reward except for some laughs. That is, of course, however, a reference to a rather old episode of Family Guy. The details of that are rather unimportant, but we struck out on the whole making gold off that quest, so let's see if we can find one that will actually give us some rewards. About this Sir Valence fellow we just heard about. Sir Valence is standing right next to me. He's the Keep's authority on Sneevils. Sneevils, huh? Now, if this is Sir Valence... We must be ever vigilant! Sneevils, the vile box-obsessed creatures have been stealing every box in the area. Every box? But the one that the lady had? Well, maybe you should check this out. Now, Ninja Dojo has a nice big glowing icon, but maybe we should do these in order. The forest. Sneevils are box-crazed goblins which can be found in nearly every forest. Searching their forest might yield a new weapon. A new weapon sounds nice, and if we can't use it, surely we can sell it. There's a healing pad here. And now we're being introduced to one of DragonFable's most common types of quests, which is a quest where the layout is random, and the goal is to move about it, taking various paths as though one were in a maze, to try to find the end. You can, of course, go the wrong way and have to do extra fights, but the general idea is to not have that happen. And as you can see, we've picked up 2 new skills. Stun. Attack and stun for 3 rounds. And Throw. Ranged attack plus 75 damage. Now, Stun at 17 mana is by far the best skill this class gets access to. For 3 turns, the enemy can't hit you. Unless, of course, they have a resistance to stun, which this early in the game nothing did. And then there's Throw, which does plus 75% damage. So if you don't have any points in strength or dex, throw is 75% stronger. Let's give it a shot. 13 damage. As you can see, it does piercing damage, which relies on your range skill. That said, it has a cooldown of 2 turns. It's a nice way to open up, but I prefer stun. And then double. And the Seed Spitter is dead. Always kind of dislike their design. Very simplistic, but I suppose it works. Alright, let's not mess around this time. Stun right off the bat so we don't take damage. As you can see there, I accidentally double-clicked it, and it notified me that the skill was still cooling down. Now, he's got a turn of stun left, but I wouldn't mind taking a little bit more damage instead of using triple. So he comes up and whips us. Not a big deal. And as you can see there, we did 20 damage, max damage, and a crit. Stun again. Unfortunately, stun is pretty MP intensive. But, you know, not taking damage is preferable. And as you can see, we're getting about 18 EXP a kill here, but only 2 gold. And this is a Sneevil. More specifically, this is 3 of them. In fights with multiple enemies, you can have up to 3 opponents. In this case, we have 3. And as you can see, they each have their own separate health, though in this case it's all the same. Usually when you fight enemies in groups like this, they're all weaker than it would be if you just fought one of them. And as you can see, one of the next skills we unlock is Multi-Strike, which allows us to hit more than one target. But because we don't have that yet, we'll just have to take them down one at a time. Ooh, that kind of hurt. Not much more than the Seed Spitters have, though. Double and triple are more or less redundant in this fight. We can one-shot these guys. But these are the infamous box-stealing Sneevils, I imagine. Oh, he blocked an attack. They seem to go down relatively easily. Maybe it's because we didn't have any boxes. As you can see here, this, like we talked about before, is an indicator that this is the end of the quest. But what if we went the other way? What's down there? A healing pad, which will be helpful before fighting the boss. Great taste, less filling. I believe that is a Miller Lite reference, which I always found odd in a PG-10 type game. But is PG-10 even a category? The point is in a child-friendly game, but maybe it's a reference to something else. Yeah, so this boss fight is in fact just fighting 3 Sneevils, like we did before. Interesting mohawk design. I would imagine that it's a cultural thing among the Sneevils, but maybe the artist just made them all look the same. You've made your way through the Sneevil Forest, defeating the thieving box snatchers at every turn, and you didn't even get poison ivy. That sounds like a moment waiting for some dramatic irony. We got 90 XP and 14 gold. That's enough to pay for 3 skills almost. Ooh, and the prized sword. This weapon is covered in gaudy glass gems. You're fairly certain that this is a prize you saw at a traveling fair. Now, this weapon deals 12 to 12 damage. As you can see, we could have chosen not to take it if we didn't have an interest. But by comparison, our longsword only does 5 to 10. The prize sword does 12 to 12. That's far superior and consistent. It's actually really good for testing out certain builds, finding out how much you get boosted by on a given stat or using a certain skill. Because, assuming you don't have any points in strength, it will do the exact same damage every time. Now then, you see here, however, that the longsword has a bonus called Bonus Plus 1. If we go into our stats, we can see that bonus is a offensive stat. It's effectively our increased chance to hit. There are only a few enemies which dodge frequently, and the +1 isn't all that good. So we're going to go ahead and equip the prized sword. And as you can see, our weapon appearance actually changes. I've always kind of liked the appearance of this weapon too. Heal. And as you can see, our damage is 12 to 12. Why don't we perhaps invoke the sunk cost fallacy and invoke those last 5 skill points. And I realized that volume's a little low. I apologize. So, as you can see, our damage still remains unchanged. And we only have 1 gold coin to our name. Maybe we should go in some more. So let's check out the tree fort. Sneevil tree forts are nearly impenetrable. It is said that they sometimes empty their boxes there. It would be worthwhile to investigate. Well, where there's boxes, maybe there's treasure. We have another healing pad there. They become much less common in later quests, unfortunately. Or perhaps fortunately. Now, this is effectively the same premise as the 2-on-1, 3-on-1 type fights we saw before, save for the physical orientation, which makes no difference to the fight. I'm going to double check that we are in fact recording. Just a moment. Yep, we are. Just a little paranoid about those things. So, once again, we'll go ahead and beat them down. And as you can see, we did 14 damage there, not our listed 12 to 12. And 14 there. And we step inside the box fort and deal another 14. And we strike these 2 down. As you can see, they're level 1. They don't level with us. Otherwise, they'd be much tougher. But they're giving a solid amount of jelly EXP. Now, given that we are consistently hitting 14s, this leads me to believe that either I misremembered or something has changed, and the modifiers from strength are not included in the damage stat. It has been a while since I've played, especially again at low level. On my primary character, his strength is maxed out. So perhaps that's changed without me knowing. In which case, disregard everything that I said before. That said, a 1 to 2 point damage increase, certainly, while not bad, is difficult to compare to an extra 25 hit points, or in that case 50. But we're not hurting too badly for HP. It's nice to be able to just hit these and they die. This one, however, is level 3, because he is a Sneevil boxer. I presume they don't mean boxing the sport. He boxes things up. But regardless, it will probably be more effective to stun him. And we do. Now, we can see that he has 13 HP. And because we are using a weapon which is consistent, and know that we deal 14, we don't need to use double and waste the mana. He's dead. We have another healing pad up here, and it looks like we got a lot of Sneevil to deal with. Let's start by going up north. 2 Sneevil boxers. This will be much trickier to deal with. It's going to take us 4 attacks. Unless, of course, we use Warcry. 17. 3 is 1/4 of 14. I may have just made a fool of myself. 3, 6, 9, 12. Ignore me. It's approximately 1/5, which is what a 20% damage boost would be. I shouldn't be recording this late at night. I apologize. But let's go ahead and switch over to doubling on Sneevil Boxer number 2, who still has full health, but we're doing more damage now. 13 and 26. Without the crit, we wouldn't have taken him down, which would have been rather unfortunate. But crits happen. 36 XP. Excellent. Heal up quick. Let's check out this door. Yeah? What's the password? Password? I better look around and see if I can figure out what the password is. Hey, you still there? Hey, this guy must have learned how to talk from the message forums. Ooh. Insulting the fan base, but not entirely wrong. I forgot a box. Be right back. Yeah, well, let's go see if we can find the password. Beating up these Sneevils is pretty routine. Stun the ones that have enough health to require more than one attack, and just keep going. Is there anything else I need to cover right now? I suppose it's worth mentioning, well, sometimes this happens, where the one you start targeted on isn't the stronger one, but that's why you check. Anyway, there's a lot of content in this game that is seasonal in nature. Holiday releases, events, or even one-time events meant for people who are there at the time. Missed twice. Yeesh. Thankfully, he's stunned for another round. And there he goes. Anyway, I have ways, well, the staff has provided ways, I should say, to allow access to that content, though it's not in any sort of linear order, unfortunately. Not in the order it was intended to be played in. I'll attempt to replicate the order as best I can, but my memory is foggy, so I will attempt to fill in any plot holes that come as a result of me not remembering. But trying to fill in this game's plot holes is rather silly, given the number of them that we'll find throughout the game. Anyway, this is a Sneevil Arca. They are, in fact, a stronger version of Sneevil, with 35 hit points, and they are level 5. We probably shouldn't take them too lightly, especially after that regular Sneevil before hit us so hard. So we'll stun him. And we get a crit. Well, he's basically dead at this point. Discovered password. You found the Sneevil's secret password. It is Sword Chuck. Tell the password to the box office manager. That sounds like a cool skill to have. Sword Chuck. Yeah? What's the password? Sword Chuck. Yeah, great. Now do the secret Sneevil knock. Do eat. Sneevil knock. The security in the fortress is amazing. Hold on a moment. I just realized I forgot to empty all the gold and gems out of this new box. Well, I suppose we should go look for that password then. I forgot to stun. That's alright, though. It may seem odd to be doing this quest now, as opposed to earlier when we were lower level, but we're about the same level as the toughest members of the Sneevils. The problem with this quest that a lot of later ones don't have is that these quests do not scale with you, although we've seen some that do thus far. But this quest, at least these enemies from it, are consistently the level that they are. Another crit. And I shouldn't have doubled him, but that's alright. We'll run back and heal. Or not. We got a level up. I was not paying close attention. We're now level 6, but I digress. We're not necessarily over-leveled for this quest, but we're at a level where its hardest points are appropriate. So we'll go ahead and stun. And double, just to see what it can get done. Alright, would have done 22 normally, but we crit. Learn Secret Knock. You have learned the mysterious and powerful, sometimes dangerous, and very, very, very secret Sneevil Knock. You can use this to gain entry to the box office. Alright, well, let's go heal up our mana and then head into the box office. Yeah? What's the password? Sword Chuck. Yeah, great. Now do the secret Sneevil knock. Do eat. I hope I never have to do that voice again. I hope this works. Here we go. Wows, that was the best knock I ever heard. Get in here. Oh my god, it's a human and he knows our secret knock. Oh no, how did he figure it out? Or is he the tallest Sneevil I've ever seen? Tallest Sneevil. Rush him! Quick! So we'll go ahead and stun that one. Like I said, I really am a fan of the way the prized sword looks. A lot of the later weapons, as we'll see, get very zany, which is good. Oh, there were 3, but we only need to kill 2. As I said, plot holes. A lot of the later weapons end up looking rather silly, and that can be good in some ways. The humor is appreciated. But I like the weapons that are relatively toned down. Oh, and we did pick up our multi-skill after we leveled up there. Probably could have used it in the last fight, but it wasn't really necessary. And that'll do 22. Makes the math nice and easy. Doesn't leave anything to chance. Of course, the chance can sometimes be what gives you the ability to kill them a turn sooner, but I like the consistency. I definitely prefer it. Okay, this is the Sneevil Boxlord. He doesn't have any stat points. He's got a pretty high damage rate, though. No particular element, no weaknesses, but 65 health. So let's stun him. A lot of the early game technique will be stun! But I'll try to mix it up every now and then, especially when we can afford to lose hit points. Double. And let's throw. 26, and that wasn't even a crit. Strange. You've defeated the regional Sneevil Boxlord. On your adventure, you learn more about the Sneevils and their goals in the area. Certainly did. Shipwreck. This sword is merely a piece of sharpened wood from a shipwreck, found along the shore. 3 to 19 damage, though. That's a lot more than we do right now. With a very low bottom, of course. Let's check it out. If we go over to preview, we can see what it looks like. It looks rather plain and unimportant, but we'll hold on to it for now. But we do have some stat points to spend. Let's get those out of the way before it gets too expensive. I'm going to test. If I put 15 points in, a total of 15, will our damage be 15 then? Let's go talk to Surveillance again. Ninja Dojo. The Sneevil Ninja Shogun has many spies in the forest. Head to their dojo where he trains his army and we can see what we can find out. Sneevil Ninja. Interesting. As you can see, they're level 4. They don't have any particular weaknesses and they don't hit that hard. But they have enough health that with our normal weapon, we wouldn't be able to one-shot them. Of course, with this we could anyway, but let's see how much we hit for. Sure enough, our damage has increased by 1. Oh. And our crits are 30. This should make taking these guys out pretty easy. We definitely got lucky on our find of this. Ow, though. We missed. We took 2 damage. The first time I played this game, I had a real hard time with this quest. I was a much lower level at the time, because it was the lowest quest that was unlocked. So I thought, it must give the most EXP and the best rewards. So let's try out Multi-Strike. See how well that does against them. Sure enough, takes them out. And it only costs 14 mana. That's not too bad. That said, there are a lot of Sneevil ninjas. I can see why the Pactagonal Knights needed our help. And we'll keep moving. Now, all of this might be getting a little grindy, but I figured it was best to show the quests at least once, at least the ones that are particularly entertaining. There will be grinding to come. It will become very necessary after a certain point. But for now, let's just go through the quests. That's an awful lot of boxes. But the Sneevil looks normal. Clearly he's much bigger, though. Shogun Snizix. He's a level 4 goblin, or goblinoid, goblin kind. but he is of course a Sneevil. And he doesn't have any particular resistances. In fact, other than his HP, he doesn't look that much different. Let's not stun this one, though. Warcry. 18. Oh, some tricksy moves there, Shogun Snizix. Double, and he's down. Shogun Snizix confessed his plans to invade Oaklore Keep in a daring daylight attack and added, laughing, "You're too late, human. Sneevil ninja attack is already happening. The kings will have his special box. Quick, to the keep!" Special box. Maybe we should go investigate what that special box is. Locked book. Return this book and other books to Lore Master Maya in Oaklore Keep. I guess that's one of the books that the doctor told us about. Well, let's go heal up. And it looks like our next quest is defend the keep. So maybe we should get this book turned in and see if what we can find can help us defend the keep. I'm sorry, I should have read through that. Let's try that again. Oh, have you found some ancient books? Perhaps an ancient tome? Maybe you found a history scroll. Well, we did. We found a book. These are the items that we can receive in exchange for these books. As you can see, some of them are quite high level. We'll get to those when the time is appropriate. But the worn skullcap, we got the locked book, and that's what we have to trade for it. This is what's known as a merge shop, or rather than paying for items, you exchange one item for another, or a set of items in some cases. So let's see what the worn skullcap looks like. Oh, we can't. Interesting, most helmets you can, perhaps just because this one was implemented so early. But it gives us a +1 to our crit, which is already 5, a dex +1, an intelligence boost +1, and a strength +1. So it looks like it's pretty utilitarian. Just about anyone could use it and gain a benefit if they don't already have a helmet. So let's go ahead and get it. One skullcap. Oh, there we go. Now we can preview it. Not bad. Perhaps a little silly, but as you can see, it boosted our appropriate stats. Now, I think I'm going to leave us on a cliffhanger. Next time, we will defend the keep from those dastardly Sneevils. See you then.